I think one of the major things, or one of the major problems that people don't necessarily think about when they're looking at marketing the band or the record is all of the components need to work together. So if you're releasing a record, you're going to have to think about press, radio, retail, and internet, and how all of those areas work together. You can't just focus on radio without thinking about what's happening at a retailer in that same market. A good example would be if you were an artist who is a college radio artist and you got radio play on WRAS in Atlanta. You're going to want to get a hold of Eric at Criminal Records in Atlanta. Let Eric at Criminal know that you have radio play on WRAS. If you don't have a relationship yet with Eric, he could buy your CD on consignment. And then you're going to want to get a hold of the press outlet in Atlanta. A good alternative is Creative Loafing. So everything kind of works together. With your marketing plan, you kind of need a spark to start everything off, and a lot of times that's touring. So when you're going through the market, if you have hired a publicist and if you're working with, say, a radio person, you're just going to want to have to concentrate on sort of the main segments within each market. Nothing works in a vacuum. The most important thing that an artist can do is to tour, absolutely. Touring provides the spark that all of the other marketing segments need to work off of. So when you're on tour, that's going to open up your retail options, your internet options. You're going to want to organize your street team or organize the people that are fans of yours that have registered for your newsletter. You're going to want to focus on press, and if it's tour press, you're going to want to focus on the weeklies and the dailies that are in each particular market where you're touring. You're also going to want to focus on radio. Radio is becoming a little bit more difficult to work with. And that's nothing new. Some formats still are appropriate. College radio, non-commercial radio. Those are areas where artists can still get some visibility, and those can still help to raise your visibility in certain markets, as well as sell CDs, some radio segments. It has to be thought out. When you're going on tour, it has to be well thought out. Months in advance. If once you've booked your dates, once that is as set in stone as possible, at that point you have to approach. You have to service the venue, for example. The venue, 3 weeks out, minimum, they're going to need posters. 3 weeks out minimum, you're talking to, local, regional press. Over and above that, there are some press outlets that want to hear from you, 6 weeks out, and you're going to continue before, as you're building up to that date. You're going to want to continue to talk to press, continue to talk to radio. You're going to want to try to set up, an in-studio radio performance if you can, or an interview to help drive folks to your date. So they're definitely, the key is staying on top of all of the different segments leading up to your tour. And it's pure business. It is. You have to separate yourself from the artistic side. Put your marketing hat on and think, how am I going to drive people to this show? And think of it very directly per market. Think about what radio outlet is there, what retail outlet is there that I can talk to. Can I send posters to that retail outlet? Will they take consignment CDs from me? So it's just, it's very analytical. You really have to think about all the options. You have to do a lot of research. You have to make personal relationships, and this is if you're doing it yourself. You could hire an indie publicist who has those relationships already, who knows who the writers are in the particular markets, and say, hey, I really believe in this band. They're coming through. Here's some great press that they've gotten already in prior markets. Here's some great press they've gotten on their record. Check them out. Go to the show if you want. Do a review. It would be great if you could do a preview to help drive people to the show. It's just, the personal relationships and the time that you take building up to that particular date. It's all about that date, and then it's all about the next date, and it's just really a slow build. There's no silver bullet, but it's heavy duty marketing, thinking about how you can drive people to this date.